Yes, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out for our Red Kettle Kickoff this year. It's hard to believe that the holiday season has arrived. My name is Chris Kelley. I'm the director of the Salvation Army here in Sanford. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize our special guests that are here today. First, I'd like to recognize the store manager at Lowe's Foods, Joanna Zadara. Joanna, we really appreciate you allowing us to be out here today and hosting the kettle for us all season long. Lowe's Foods is a tremendous supporter of Salvation Army, and we're just grateful, not just during November and December, but all year long. We receive food from Lowe's Foods and all the generous customers that come here. So thank you, Joanna, for all that you do for us here. I'd also like to recognize two of our very long-time faithful volunteers and supporters, Mr. and Mrs. Ted and Peggy Lanier, that are out here today. Mr. and Mrs. Yes, please give them a hand. These two folks are very special to me and to many of us in our community. Thank you both for all that you have done and all that you continue to do for the Salvation Army and all of us here in our community. There's no telling how many lives you all have impacted, both of you. You have touched so many lives, you've touched mine. And thank you for, both of them have coordinated the bell ringing for over 25 years here in Sanford. And this is going to be the Lanier's last year of coordinating, and it actually is kind of transferring now to our advisory council member, Kelley Ladati. Which Kelley, I know, Kelley, I just want to thank you for stepping up and taking on some of the coordinating and bell ringing and getting volunteers here for our location. Big shoes to fill, but I know that you're going to do a great job. But Mr. and Mrs. Lanier, thank you. God bless you. We love you. Thank you for all you do. I'd also like to thank, is Mr. Chuck Lewis here? Chuck Lewis is also assisting with bell ringing here and helps set up and put up and take down kettles here every day. I'd like to recognize and thank our mayor, Mr. Chet Mann. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being here today. Appreciate your support. Representative John Sauls is here today. Thank you, Mr. Sauls, for being here. Sheriff Tracy Carter. Sheriff, thank you so much for coming to join us and ringing the bell for us. We also have Meg Morris, Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, here today. Thank you, Meg. We have some special music today. Good friend and Daniel Simmons and his wife Jessica. Daniel's the CEO of Boys and Girls Club in Central Carolina. Thank you so much, Daniel, for playing some music for us today. We have Margaret Murchison. Yes, Miss Margaret is here. Many of you know Miss Margaret, News and Sales Director at WWGP and WFGA. Thank you so much, Margaret, for being out here today. We have Terry McMillan from Brick City Capital, Brick Capital Video. Terry, thank you for coming out and videoing us today and supporting Salvation Army. And then our advisory council members that are here today, we appreciate all your support. So now until December 24th, you're going to see the red kettles at all our locations throughout Lee County. You're going to hear the bells. You're going to see the volunteers that are out there. We'll be out from 10 to 8 o'clock, 6 days a week here in Lee County. Our kettles are a familiar sight. For many, it marks the beginning of the holiday season and a great tradition for the Salvation Army. Been going on over 130 years here in our country and in other countries as well. Our mission at the Salvation Army is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and meet human needs in His name without discrimination. This year we've worked hard to carry out that mission, and we've noticed the struggles that many families, individuals and families are having here in Lee County. We have not shut our doors since the pandemic hit in March, and we have been on site at the Man Center serving the community on a weekly basis, providing food, clothing, and financial assistance. But this has been a challenging year with COVID for all of us, especially for the vulnerable in our community. Many of them are struggling to keep food on their tables, keep a roof over their head, and just to make it through each day. The Salvation Army is here to help. And we are thankful for how this community has been supporting us throughout this pandemic. I want to share some of the needs that we're seeing, and this is before the pandemic hit. 18% of our population is living in poverty. Over 3,000, or that's 3,000 children in our community. They're living in poverty. 43% of kids qualify for free and reduced lunch. 13.5% are faced with food insecurity. And this past January, at our point in time count, we had 157 individuals that had no place to call home. And then in the Lee County school system, we had 377 children that also were homeless or doubled up in motels or other people's homes. So there's a lot of big needs in our area. It's continuing to grow. We're anticipating these numbers to grow into 2021. We're aware of that the need is great, and we rely on all of you, our community partners, volunteers, and donors to support us. Unfortunately, we're already seeing the impact of COVID is having a major impact on our fundraising. There's less cash and coins circulating right now. There's less foot traffic in the stores due to more online shopping, and we're having fewer volunteer bell ringers because of the concern of COVID. But we want everybody to know that we're taking precautions to keep everyone safe while they're bell ringing, our volunteer bell ringers and our donors. We're asking all our bell ringers to wear a mask while ringing the bell. We're also sanitizing the kettles after each shift to keep that kettle clean. And also, we encourage our volunteers to practice social distancing. We also have a new way for people to give this year. They don't even have to touch the kettle. They can go up right to their phone, and there's a Google Apple Pay sticker there. They can scan that code and pay through their phone. That's at all our locations. Because of COVID, we're anticipating, and we hope this is not going to happen, but a potential 50% drop in funds through our kettle. Last year we raised $80,000 here locally to the kettles, and people giving to the kettles here in Lee County. This is very concerning with the needs of being so great right now in the community. As I said, these donations, they stay here locally to help support our food pantry, provide clothing assistance, financial assistance, rent utilities, and the bills that we've been seeing this year are unbelievable. Unbelievable how high they are. We also have a people program, the Christmas Joy program, where we're assisting 1,000 kids here locally for Christmas. Just yesterday, we provided Thanksgiving turkeys and traditional food items to over 200 families here locally. And each month, we assist 600 to 700 people here in this community that are coming to our doors for help. In addition to these tangible resources that we provide, we also work to restore dignity, increase employability, and restore hope through programs like Jobs for Life. We partner with First Baptist to help people find and keep work. We partner with the community college to have a GED program. And we also have a program called Project Catch that provides case management support to families experiencing homelessness in our community. So far in 2020, we have provided a total of $363,000 in direct and in-kind assistance to people here in Lee County. That's since the beginning of this year. We're working hard to break the cycle of poverty, and we want people to get ahead in life, not just get by. With so many needs in our community, we're prepared to expand our services and relocate our offices to build a center of hope in Sanford. I'm so excited about this. And we're currently in the process of finishing our strategic plan, and we'll be reaching out to many of you and to others in the community asking for support in 2021. Part of this Center of Hope will be a day center. This will be a multi-service hub for connecting individuals and families who are at risk or currently experiencing homelessness to coordinated services that create a path to stable housing and renewed hope. So we know that we've been working hard in trying to help the homeless in our community, and we believe a day center is a place where people can get off the streets and find help, hope, and support that's so needed. So here's some ways people can help. Obviously, we need people to ring the bell, but but we want people to be comfortable with ringing. If you're comfortable ringing, you're comfortable getting out, we encourage folks to go to our website, www.leearmy.org, to sign up to ring. If people are not comfortable ringing, people can help through our virtual Red Kettle this year. It's on our website as well. People can fundraise. You can share that virtual kettle on your Facebook page. You can also give to that virtual kettle. We've set a $10,000 goal for that virtual kettle this year. We love to meet and exceed that goal. We also have Giving Tuesday coming up on December 1st. It's a national day of giving. We would love people to support us in a big way next Tuesday on Giving Tuesday, and to find out more about that, please like and share our Facebook page, Salvation Army of Lee County, and where you can get all the updates on Giving Tuesday. I just want to thank all of you for your support. Thank you for coming out and being ambassadors. Each one of you are ambassadors for those that are in need in our community. Please help us keep the bell ringing this season and give however you can. I'd like to ask our mayor, Mr. Chet Manning, to come out. He's going to share a few words with us now as well.
Thank you, Chris, and for all of you volunteers that come out every year to raise this kind of money. Each and every Thanksgiving holiday to Christmas, couldn't do it without the Salvation Army. And I wanted to speak just a little bit about some of the things Chris has told us about living in Sanford and Lee County in 2020 during the pandemic. We have had so many challenges. And yet the good news is that Sanford and Lee County has seemed to continue to overachieve and answer the call. And so while we have to do things terribly different, we don't have to stop doing things. And the Salvation Army is a proof of that. They're not stopping their mission. They're just altering and adapting their mission to the conditions that we live in. We have seen things like, we've got an eviction issue that'll be coming up. People will be displaced. We've had people furloughed. We've had people with reduced pay. We have more people in need today than we've probably had in any year in our recent history. And yet Sanford and Lee County continue to thrive. So we've got to always reach out to those people who need a hand up, because there are a lot of them. At the same time, there are a lot of us standing here today that are doing better than they've ever done before. So we want to do the most good by supporting the Salvation Army. So I want to do a couple things here today. First, I'd like to tell you that I'm going to sign an emergency order today. It will piggyback the governor's state order. But here in the city of Sanford city limits, I will be requiring that all businesses mandate the wearing of masks by their employees and by any customer that walks through their store, or they could face a civil fine, not a criminal fine, but a civil fine for non-compliance. And that fine will be enforceable by our Sanford Police Department, our Sanford Fire Department, and our code enforcement personnel. It's not that we want to shut anyone down. We're not going to shut anyone down, but we're going to ask that you take the personal responsibility upon yourself. And if you're a business owner or manager, you take the responsibility to make sure that people wear a mask. We can't help the Salvation Army if we're all sick. And I'd rather apologize to each of you now for inconveniencing someone who has a problem wearing a mask and feels their personal liberty has been compromised than apologize to their widow for not doing more to save lives when we could. So that's the reason why I'm doing that today at 5 o'clock. And it'll follow the governor's state order that's in place at 5 o'clock today. So please help me with that voluntary compliance so that we don't have to issue civil fines and be responsible. And I also want to do something a little more fun and lighthearted in a gesture of thanks to the Salvation Army. As you all heard, the challenges that Chris has and the Laniers have and the Salvation Army Board has raising money. I happen to think that just like we've done all year long, people in Sanford Lee County will step up and you'll raise $80,000 or more, even though the outlook for that looks a little hard because people aren't out like they used to be. People are afraid to touch things like they used to do. But I think they will, and I think they can, and it's not that we're going to stop doing what we're doing, we're just going to do it differently. But Chris, if you come forward, I'd like to do something in your honor. And on behalf of the city of Sanford and myself, I want to thank you for the the 25 years of service at Salvation Army, and since 2014, your service here in Sanford and Lee County. We love having you in the Man Center. We love what you do for Sanford. We need the Salvation Army to continue to do their mission here in Sanford, because government can't do it all by themselves, and citizens can't do it all by themselves. We need nonprofits like you. And so, Chris, if you would, I'd like to present you with a ceremonial key to the city. And thank you for your service.
Thank you. That's so kind. Thank you.
And I guess it's appropriate to rub elbows. Thank you so much. It's a very small gesture, but I hope you'll put that on your desk and remember that Sanford appreciates your service.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's so kind.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. That's so kind. Thank you. It's so humbling. You know, I've been here since 2014, and it's what a blessing it's been in my life to be here in this community, to be a part of Salvation Army, and to work with so many good people in this community. And that's the way I view it. It's not definitely not me. It's a community-wide effort when we talk about the Salvation Army and the work that we do. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for recognizing us, and we appreciate all your support. We appreciate the city's support, the county support of the Salvation Army. What a blessing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to ask Mr. Daniel Simmons and his wife to come up and play a couple songs to close us out.